There is a form of intelligence that cannot be learned in any classroom, developed through any book, or acquired at any price. The only way to develop it is to suffer for it. And most of the people watching this have already paid in full. They just have no idea what they bought, because nobody ever told them. Instead, they were given different names for it. Anxiety, overthinking, too sensitive, too aware, always reading too much into things, always braced for something that hasn't happened yet. Psychologists have started calling it traumatic intelligence. And once you understand what it actually is, what your nervous system genuinely learned, and what those abilities can do when used deliberately rather than reactively, you will never use the word broken to describe yourself again. Here is what the clinical research has found. Trauma does not only wound people. In many cases, it also sharpens them. Children who grow up in unpredictable or emotionally complex environments develop a heightened sensitivity to social cues, emotional patterns, and nonverbal communication that most people simply never develop. Their brains, specifically the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, are trained early to detect signals that other nervous systems never learn to read. The result is an intelligence that runs invisibly, constant, exhausting, and profoundly powerful. This is what your anxiety actually was. Not a weakness, not a malfunction. Extraordinary, relentless, involuntary training. Here are the signs you carry it. The first, you read rooms before anyone says a word. You walk into a space, and something activates in you before you consciously decide to pay attention. The tightness in someone's posture, the micro-expression that crosses a face for less than a second, the silence between two people that communicates more than the conversation does. This is not intuition in any mystical sense. It is pattern recognition at a level most people's nervous systems never develop. Your brain was trained from an early age to scan for emotional data because that scanning once kept you safe. You developed a perceptual precision that clinicians spend years trying to acquire professionally. You already live inside it every single day. The second, you know what someone needs before they know it themselves. You sense the shift in someone's energy before they have consciously registered it. You hear someone say they're fine in a way that means the opposite. Psychologists call this hyperempathy. It develops in people who, from an early age, needed to track the emotional states of others closely, not out of curiosity, but for survival. You did not choose to become this attuned. You were trained into it by circumstances that required it. The cost was enormous. The capability is real. The third, when everything falls apart, something in you goes quiet and strategic. Everyone around you floods with panic. You become clearer, more focused, more useful. This is stress inoculation. Your nervous system was calibrated inside high-stakes environments so many times that what registers as overwhelming chaos to most people registers to you as a problem requiring a solution. You paid for that calibration. It is not accidental. It is one of the rarest cognitive adaptations a human nervous system can develop. The fourth, you think about human behavior almost compulsively. You replay conversations. You search for the meaning beneath what people say. You anticipate how someone will respond before they respond. You became a student of human nature, not by choice, but by necessity, because understanding people once felt essential to your safety. That education, paid for in sleepless nights and anxiety nobody around you understood, produced one of the rarest capacities a person can carry, the ability to see what is actually happening beneath what people show. The fifth, you feel things at a frequency most people simply do not have access to. Music lands differently. Injustice doesn't just bother you. It moves through your body. A small kindness from a stranger can open something in you that takes you by surprise. This is not weakness. This is an amygdala that was sensitized through repeated emotional activation, giving you access to an emotional range that most people touch only in rare moments. You live there permanently. It costs you, and it makes you capable of something most people cannot fully do, genuinely feeling what is actually happening. The sixth, the one that has cost you the most in relationships. Trust comes slowly, but when it arrives, it is absolute. Your threshold is higher than average, not because you are closed, because your brain built filters from early experience that most people's never had to build. Those filters have isolated you at times, They have also guaranteed that the connections you do form are built on something real, something most people in your life have never experienced at the depth you offer it. Now, here is the concealed truth that neither the clinical research nor the popular content on this topic ever fully delivers. This intelligence was built as a survival mechanism, which means right now, today, it is running your life reactively. It was designed for the environment that created it, a world of unpredictability, emotional threat, and the constant need to scan for danger. When that environment no longer exists, the intelligence does not turn itself off. It keeps running, keeps scanning, keeps reading rooms you are now safe in, keeps anticipating threat from people who are not threatening you. The person with traumatic intelligence who never learns to use it consciously is driven by it. The person who learns to deploy it deliberately, who can choose when to use it rather than being permanently activated by it, gains access to a level of perceptual and emotional precision that almost nobody else in the room possesses. That transition begins here. 5 practices, starting tonight. The first, tonight, write down one ability that has been called a weakness: overthinking, hypersensitivity, always reading too much into things. Write the precise cognitive skill it actually represents. Name it accurately, for the first time. This is not affirmation. It is the correction of a lie you were handed too early to refuse. The second, tomorrow, choose one situation where you will deploy your pattern recognition deliberately, rather than reactively. Before entering a room, decide in advance what you are going to observe. Use the intelligence as a tool, consciously. The difference between being driven by this ability and wielding it is the difference between surviving a situation and operating inside it with precision. The third, this week, conduct a trust audit. Identify one relationship where your adaptive skepticism has been protecting you accurately, and one where it has been isolating you from someone who is genuinely safe. The distinction is not always immediately clear. Making it consciously is how you stop the filter from running your entire relational life on autopilot. The fourth, once per day, give your nervous system a deliberate 60 seconds of safety. Slow breath, physical stillness, no scanning required. Your system was trained for permanent alert. This is not meditation. This is how you begin teaching it that it can rest. So the intelligence becomes available when you choose it, rather than consuming you when you don't. The fifth, and the most demanding, identify one area of your life where this intelligence is currently misreading the situation, where the survival response is firing against something that is not actually dangerous, where the hypervigilance is protecting you from a threat that no longer exists. Name it precisely. This is how you stop being the person your past made reactively and start becoming the person you are choosing to be deliberately. What your nervous system built in order to survive was not a collection of symptoms. It was a set of extraordinary perceptual and emotional capabilities that most people's brains never build, because they were never required to. You paid for those capabilities at a price you did not choose and did not deserve. What you do with them from here is the only part that belongs entirely to you. Comment below. The ability you spent the most years trying to suppress. The one you are done apologizing for. Like this video and subscribe to this channel for more powerful videos like this. See you in the next one.